Hello and welcome back to 4FS Gaming. Today we are going to have a first look at all of the changes in Hunt Showdown Update 1.4.8, and I'll pair up some of the test server footage with the patch notes to show you exactly what's on the way. Let's start with the most significant changes, which are an array of new world items to loot that are scattered around the map. These include envelopes which can contain 1000 XP or 6 trait points for your hunter, or 500 XP for your bloodline. You can also find these little bags scattered around. Now they can have up to 25 hunt dollars in them, or sometimes up to 3 blood bonds. Then there are trait charms that will instantly grant a trait to your hunter. These will sometimes drop from killing a meathead. Finally, there are also blueprints that will instantly unlock the next progression tier of the weapon or piece of gear that you are holding. Now after exploring the map a fair bit, it quickly becomes apparent that the small bags with blood bonds and dollars are very common, especially those that contain money. There seem to be at least 2 or 3 in every compound, and there's probably more. The envelopes with XP and trait points can be found on walls. These are very rare in comparison, and I only found about 1 trait charm as well. Now the drop rate for these seems pretty minor, because I killed about 5 meatheads in total to get this one to drop. I have not as yet encountered a blueprint. They seem to be the rarest of all, which is not surprising given their power. Now let's talk about the changes to towers. You know all of those hunter towers scattered around the map? Well, now they have loot in them. This could be supplies like a medkit, it could be a weapon laying around up there, and I often found those small bags of money as well. A much more significant change to the maps is in 3 locations. There are now much larger watchtowers. There is only one in the Lawson Delta map, and it's here, replacing the Hunter Tower on this mound between Sweetbell and Fort Karmic. On the Stillwater Bayou map, we have one in the swamp between Lock Bay and Crematorium, and another in the hilly area north of Healing Waters Church. Each of these towers has one staircase up, no ladders, and has much more cover and a larger area up top along with a balcony. Now there's always some sort of loot in here too. There's a range of ammo, usually a weapon, potentially healing or world loot items as well. Now they're still made of wood, so I don't think they're very defensible positions. They're good for scouting ahead, looking for supplies, and then getting out quickly. 1.4.8 will also add 2 new weapon variants. The Winfield Musket Bayonet is a longer Winfield variant with 2 more bullets in the tube and a bayonet attachment. It's not super exciting as an addition, but I know that some people will appreciate it. We will also have the Nagant Officer Carbine Deadeye. Now this takes a really strong weapon and adds a Deadeye scope for those who prefer to use it, so it's always a welcome addition despite the fact that the carbine is much better at closer ranges. On top of this, 3 other weapons are finally getting some legendary variants. The Winfield Silencer gets the Vagrant, which looks like it's come straight out of a cannery. The Nagant Officer Brawler gets the Death Letter, which is covered in etchings, even mentioning something about birds, so it might be a little bit of a nod to the upcoming boss. And finally, the Spark Silencer gets a very clean skin. It isn't fancy, but it's a massive step up from the basic silencer appearance. So that's all of the major beats out of the way, but perhaps the biggest impact of 1.4.8 will be the slew of quality of life improvements, so let's shoot through them now. Antidote shots are being nerfed. They will still prevent poison status effect and damage from poison clouds, but other sources of poison such as hive swarms, the spider's bite, and crossbow poison will deal normal damage. The Romero Hatchet, all Talon weapons, and the Machete and Heavy Knife are having their swing arcs altered to be much better at actually hitting things. I tested this a fair bit, and across the board it feels much better to use all of these weapons. The Ghoul trait is having a serious rework. It now costs 7 points, and it will heal you 5 HP when you kill a grunt at very close range. This means that the rest of the bar will regenerate on its own after time. It essentially turns every grunt you kill into a small medkit charge. This is very handy for maintaining your heals, not so handy in combat with other players when you have to search for a grunt when you're already on low health. One of my favourite changes in this update is that we can now, in our settings, disable the white and red outlines on doors and windows, and if we want to, we can also disable the blue outlines for our teammates. That white-red outline used to always obstruct vision, particularly at night when you're in buildings, and now it doesn't have to be there at all. The outline does remain on world items like traps and lanterns, so you can still find them easily. Another change is that when you banish a boss, you will recover all of your lost HP bars, not just 50 HP worth. Banishing is very nice indeed. Once you have Bounty, you can recover a second of Darksight boost by picking up a clue. So you can use the second to scan a compound for enemies in the clue location, and then find that clue and walk on without losing any dark sight. This will encourage people, hopefully, to run the gauntlet instead of fleeing as soon as they have one bounty. New rules have been placed on extractions that will always spawn them at least 500 meters apart, so no more triple extracts at Hemlock and Hyde. Another great change is that XP for weapon variants will now overspill during a match, so if I unlock the next Mosin in the Book of Weapons, I don't have to wait until the next match before I can start working toward the next variant down that list. It just keeps earning XP for that within the same match. And finally, the rank availability and price of some gear has been adjusted. The Dusters and the Spyglass will be unlocked at rank 1, the Nagant Officer at rank 12, and Winfield M1873 at rank 20. The Machete will now unlock at rank 24. The Nagant Officer Carbine has had a price hike to $155, and the new Officer Deadeye will cost $211, while the new Winfield variant will sit on $137. There have also been some new names added for Hunter recruits, along with further optimizations to increase game performance. I personally am looking forward to 1.4.8. It's a small update in terms of content, but it has a lot of changes that have been requested for a very long time. Let me know what you think in the comments below. If you like this video, please consider subscribing to stay up to date with everything Hunt Showdown. Thank you very much for watching.